In today's episode, the wonderful Fiat X1. Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight. Now, Quarterlight, if you're new, we're actually a car brochure channel looking at car brochures from around the world. Today's episode, the Fiat X1. I'm not going to say any more, I'm going to throw that straight on the board and let's have a little bit of a chat about it. So here is today's brochure for the Fiat X1, another UK brochure from September 1982. Last couple of weeks we've been looking at Fiats on Monday in this sort of smaller brochure format. What have we looked at? The Argenta, the Mirafiore. These sorts of smaller brochures, all dated September 1982, but you can certainly imagine them all on the dealer stand when you arrived into the dealer showroom. So today, Fiat X1, a little baby sports car. I always liked these actually, and you always saw quite a few of them around actually in the 80s, and certainly would be quite a collectible and fun little car to own today, to take to shows, etc. Let's just zoom in on the main image of this lovely little red example. Love the wheels, very stylish. One thing about the X1 I always kind of like forgot, when you look at the price of these things when they were new, actually they weren't particularly cheap cars when you compare them to the other small Fiats, but certainly still very interesting, and they always looked really good in the showroom. Let's open the brochure up and see what this brochure has to offer. So similar to the other brochures that we looked at for the Mirafiore and the Argenta, this is another little four-sided sheet, but in this case we're greeted with a huge interior image of the X1, which is rather lovely, and then we get some smaller images with some text. Let's zoom in a little bit further on that interior image though. So there we go, zoom in on the inside. They're lovely seats, aren't they? That sort of striped effect on there. Very sort of boxy dashboard, but somehow looks good. In this case, obviously that little hard top has been removed and the windows rolled down, or I guess in this case the actual door is actually open, greeting us with a little image of a pair of binoculars and a road map. But I've never sat inside an X1 actually, interestingly. I don't know how much room there were. Certainly not much room to adjust the seat, I would imagine, but anyway, you let me know. Did you own one? Did you drive one of these? Have you ever sat in one? How much room were they actually inside them? But I think overall a very nice package generally. I think it was a very nicely designed car. I'm sure rust was an issue, as rust seemed to be an issue with Fiats at this time, but maybe unlike things like the Mirafiore, unlike things like the Argenta, maybe these kind of like kept more as a weekend car, kept in someone's garage. Maybe a few more survived. Certainly I think more of these were sold than say a Fiat Argenta, in the UK at least. I find looking at these images that the key lever is a very unusual design, isn't it? And from looking at it just in a brochure, it looks like it's too high up. You'd think it would be a much shorter key lever itself, lower to the ground, but it looks way too long. I'm sure it's bright and I'm sure it falls nicely in the hand, but just look at the images, rather unusual. I know things like Alfa Romeos, you almost like had to be like built like an orangutan to have a comfortable driving position. I don't know if that's the case here as well. So just moving the camera back out again. So these Fiat X1 were actually designed by Bertone, and they were manufactured by Fiat from 1972 to 82, and then Bertone themselves continued it on from 82 to 89. Now we said this brochure itself is from September 1982, so I guess that's that sort of like crossover time. Fortunately I can't see the badging on it here, because Bertone of course would have been badged Bertone, there wouldn't have been any sort of Fiat badges on there, but I can't really see that on there. Very difficult to tell. I know most of the Bertones had like a two-tone paintwork though. Obviously this is only a single tone paintwork, but like I say, I'm struggling to tell if this is one or the other. It's kind of like that crossover period, isn't it? But I'm not a Fiat X19 expert by any stretch of the imagination, so certainly put some comments and opinions in the comment section. Anyway, let's have a look at these smaller images. Having said that, of course, I mean, the brochure itself is just entitled Fiat X19, which kind of like makes me think it's just before that crossover. Anyway, we can see it was storing that hard top to make it into an open top car, of course, in the trunk section. It says, to turn a hard top into an open air sports car, remove the Targa top and stow it in the front boot. And at the back there, the X19 is 13 feet from bumper to bumper, with room at the back for 2 weekend bags, which we can supply as accessories, so you can actually get the bags themselves. And also the special models actually came with luggage bags. Not many cars do that, and like I said, not many cars say you can get the luggage as an accessory, so you could have these nice bags as well. And I must admit, I was slightly amused when I read the comments about the Fiat Argenta brochure, which we looked at last week, which actually showed a similar sort of picture, looking into the boot, and it had luggage, and in the little small print at the end it said luggage not available as standard or optional equipment, which seemed weird, but I guess that explains it. If some of the models you could get the luggage, so there we go. And then the final little image is sort of like a mostly rearward shot of the Fiat X19. I must admit, it's a really lovely shade of red, actually, this one. The picture itself is sadly sort of like a twilight shot, so it is a bit of a moody little look, but kind of like shows you that little bit of space in the back for your luggage just after the engine compartment section, because of course this is a mid-engine car. It says, the unmistakable pedigree of a Ferrari. The same low dramatic profile, the same mid-engine layout, and the same designer, Bertone. A few people did call them baby Ferraris, but I don't know how you would feel about this. I just thought them as a Fiat, mainly because of the dimensions, I guess. But certainly an interesting car, a car I would certainly love to own today, but I'm sure all but the most loved examples are gone. So that takes us to the back page and the specifications. So let's have a look at those now. Now, because this is one of the later models, it is coming in with the 1500 engine, or 1498cc. Originally it just came out with a 1300 or 1290cc engine. Around about 78 was the kind of like changeover period for that. It's telling us it's got 85 bhp at 6,000 rpm, maximum torque 86.8 foot-pounds at 3,200 rpm, 4-cylinder engine, 5 bearing, cylinder head light alloy, cylinder block cast iron, carburetor downdraft compound twin choke, valve actuation belt driven OHC, electric cooling fan. Specifications, so we've got a rack and pinion steering, turning circle of 32 feet 9.5 inches, which isn't too bad, I don't think. Front suspension, independent McPherson strut with coil springs. Rear suspension, independent McPherson strut and coil spring. Discs at front and rear, actually. Disc brakes all round, that's quite nice to see. Wheel size is 5 by 13 inch. Tyre size 165 by 70 by 13. Tyres steel brace radial ply. 5-speed gearbox, which would have come in at the same time as the 1500 engine. Again, nice to see. Major service intervals every 12,000 miles. PVC underbody protection. Plastic front wheel arch liners. Rear fog lamp. Impact absorbing bumpers. Aerodynamic front spoiler. And a rollover bar. We also get side repeater indicators, a toolkit, retractable headlights, reversing lamps, fuel tank capacity 10.75 gallons. Interior specification, inertial reel seat belts, intermittent action wipers, electric windscreen washer, dipping rear view mirror, collapsible steering column, heated rear window, tinted windows, rev counter, illuminated heater controls, 2-stage adjustable panel lights, lockable glove box. Then we get various dimensions. Of course, if you want to read this, you can pause, but I'm going to move on. With comfort, so integral head restraints, moulded removable one-piece Targa top, armrests, grained leather cloth seats and door panels, full carpeting, heater with 2-speed booster, digital clock and cigarette lighter. So, like I say, it wasn't sort of a bargain basement car. It was more expensive than the small Fiats at the time, but you did get a lot of equipment, so it was quite high spec for its time. Performance-wise, maximum speed 112 miles per hour, 0 to 60 11.5 seconds. Actually, it doesn't sound too quick, doesn't it? But I bet that felt really nice actually in a very low car. Fuel economy, so let's just look at constant 56. We're getting 47.2 mpg. Maximum towing capacity, 19.5 CWT. Unusual to throw that on there. Don't think I've ever seen a Fiat X1 towing anything. And then we get the Fiat badge and the Fiat address at the time, Fiat Auto UK Limited in Middlesex. The usual garb telling you we can change things at any time. And the date of this brochure for September 1982. Now, because this episode is very short, I'm just going to end just showing you a couple of other things. This brochure is from 79, telling you the new X19 when we got the 1500 with the 5-speed box. Look at the dash and we can clearly see this is Fiat badged. And at the front there as well, Fiat badged. Hard to make out because of the angle, of course. And then just to show you one more thing. This is a late Fiat X19 brochure from 1988, when it certainly is a Bertone X19, although we can see it's still showing Fiat badged on the top there. But if we zoom in, there is our Bertone badged on the front. And then we can see that Bertone badge as well inside the brochure. I guess interesting, I'm just kind of like going off the point a bit, I guess, but interesting if we look at this late X19, we can see the performance, the maximum speed 108 miles per hour has dropped now, but we're getting a bit more speed in 0 to 60. It's now showing 9.9 seconds, which certainly would have felt a lot livelier. But there you go, a few more brochures just to end on. What is a lovely little brochure actually from 82, even though it's very tiny. You can certainly imagine picking these up at the Fiat dealership in the UK at the time, and who knows, maybe there was rather a nice shiny example in the showroom to make you linger that little bit longer in the showroom. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll end as we always do by saying, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free and always will be. You can also support the channel by becoming a member, and thank you so much for those who have become a member. It's really appreciated and makes a huge difference. It's a very small fee each month. You can maybe just do it for 1 month if you wanted to, but every little bit helps. So thank you for those who've done that. But overall, thank you so much for watching today on Quarterlight and the Fiat X19. I had a little box there for other episodes, probably throw some Fiat episodes in there for you, for the Fiat fans. But thank you so much for watching. Please do take care. We'll see you very soon. All the best and goodbye.